Hello. I'm recording this video because on the YouTube videos on the playlist, somehow I finished the last video with an open ending. I don't know what I thought. What I thought that at the time. Like, but I could not look. So at the end of the video, you may remember I mentioned that in the next video I will be summarizing something, but there is no next video. So I don't know. I could not find the next video on my hard drive on my computer and on the YouTube. So I decided to re-record the last one. At the same time, I have seen many students. I saw many students kind of struggle in doing this data. Like that is totally fine. That's expect. That's natural because especially if this is your first time working on a statistical program. So learning a program, learning coding is like learning a new language. So it's pretty natural that you struggle and it may take time to understand how the program works. So there must be a huge individual gaps. Like some students may do better than others if he or she has previous experience with some kind of coding. The coding includes like HTML, web page coding, or statistical coding, Python, C, Java. Like there are different programs, but basically, if you learn one of them, then it's much easier to learn another. So please use this course as an opportunity to like expose yourself to one kind of new language, new programming. So I'd like to emphasize that, like emphasize that programming. Programming is important, and so it's hard to learn programming in a short time. So just getting yourself exposed to different tasks is the best way to learn it. So uh, don't be discouraged. That is natural if it's your first time. So I'm here to help you. Anyhow, so in this video, my purpose is to help you with technical programming concepts. First, this is a simple summary of the videos on YouTube I gave you. So basically, they are explanation of the problem, how you download data in video one and how you implement given code. And then I describe the variables in the data. And then I show you how to define the variables that we need. And then I showed you how to implement the like regression or test or calculating the mean, things like that in video 4 and 5. So, but like in the past couple weeks, I didn't get any question about the statistical questions or the data question. Most of the questions are about programming. So, this video is more about Stata. Okay. And by the way, I assume that you have learned, I assume you went through all the previous videos and you tried the homework by yourself. Then this video will be more helpful. Let's see this. So this is what you see when you open Stata. And of course, I did some commands here. I included some commands. And basically, there are some parts of the windows. And first, this is where you enter your command. That's what I did in the demonstration videos. I type my commands in here, then you see, then the results will come up right here, right? So the results include maybe something like this, like certain number of values missing, or error message. If you have error message will show up here, like end of do file, some data saved, data file saved, something like that. So all those outcomes will be showing up right after you enter the command. that is good. In particular, for me to demonstrate what I do. So this is the only way that I can show you because I need to get the results instantly. So that's the reason why I use this method, but I'll show you there is a different method. And then as you accumulate commands, the history will be shown up here, right? So as you can see, what I did here is I opened do file editor and change directory. This means I opened some data. I'm using some data, and I implement a do file. Right. So these are 4 commands that I have done up to this point. Okay. And then this part shows the variables in the data that's on your memory. So that's the data you are using now. So if you define a new variable, the new variable will show up at the bottom of this list. If you scroll down, then you will see a new variable if you define a new one. So basically, these 4 parts are what you need to check, like to see if you're doing right or if the results is correctly reflected on the data. Okay, by the way, I think I need to define these terms first. I asked you to submit a code file, but some of you just do not have a good idea what is a code. But so then it's important to distinguish these 3 things. The three types of files associated with Stata are these. .dta format is the data file, right? It stands for data. So it stores variables and the observations. It's like Excel file, of course, formatted for Stata, right? So data file can be converted into an Excel file. So basically, data file is data. It is not much difficult to understand, but the problem is this file. To file is the code. That's what you need to submit. So code file is collection of your comments. It does not include any results or any error messages, right? It's just your comments, collection of your comments. So then combining the data and code there is a data on your memory, and then your to file will make changes on your data. So basically what you need is the data and code to do some analysis. These 2 are the main most important files you have to understand. And then where are the results? That can be saved as a log file. And its format is SMCL. I don't know what it stands for. So log file is includes everything in this window. So this log file saves exactly the same thing shown up here, like a text file. So it is a text file. So if you just drag and copy paste this part, that is the log file. So the log file includes your command, as you can see, like drop something, save something. These are your commands. Generate something, and then also it shows your results. If I command regression, then regression results will show up here, and that's saved in your log file. So log file includes everything, like including your commands, the results, the error messages, and the regression tables, like that. Okay. So again, the first 2 files are important. And then, as I said earlier, I demonstrate data by entering command in the window, in the command window, in the bottom of the window, right? That is one possible way. Also, from time to time, I show you Stata like command by clicking menu. Like for example, I'll directly show you. So for example, in here, this is new, like I just opened Stata, and you may change working directory by typing this. This is one possible way. Like you see, I typed my command here, so then you can enter it. Then this shows the result. The result shows that the directory, the folder, is now here. Working directory is here. But alternatively, you may do the same command using this menu, right? Like in this menu, like C homework or homework 2, whatever, something like this. So the same command can be implemented this way by typing in here or clicking here. Most of the command, actually all of the commands, can be found somewhere in this menu. Just there are a lot of menus and submenus, so it's hard to find and less efficient because it takes time to go here, click here, and like that. And once you click that, then there are many options. So that takes more time. So as you get more advanced, you are going to use more commands rather than clicking menus. Okay, then let's see. If I change working directory this way, and you may open data this way. I used command use webstar.dta. This is possible, but alternatively, you may simply click open, and here is the data. You can just choose it. Click this. That's the same command. And then on this log screen, this is your log. This shows what you have done and what was the result. By the way, you can easily tell that the thing comes after period is your command. And the line without period is the result, is the response to your command, right? So that's how you understand this part. But one more way is, so these two ways are what I have done in the videos because I need to get the results immediately to show you what's going on. And I have to explain step by step, so I had to use that. But what I recommend is running, like making a code file. Actually, this is the ultimate thing you are going to do if you become a programmer. If you become an expert in programming, you will never do these two things, but we'll only just work only on code file. Let me show you how to do that. So first, here it shows log, but it's not important. What you need is to file editor. New to file editor here, or maybe to file editor can be opened. I'm not certain where the menu is. Oh no. So anyhow, like let's click this. To file editor, I will click this. Then it opens a new editor, just like a notepad. That's nothing new. You can do the same thing on the notepad and copy paste everything on here. Then what I'm going to do here is, instead of typing command one by one, I will just collect these commands. And then you can run those commands, execute. If you click this button, then you can run the same commands again. So what I just did is I executed. So execute a code is command. It corresponds to command do. I run this do file, code file. Because I did not save it, it's shown as example, and I'll save it here. So example do, then let me try this again. And then this, by just clicking that, this much part command has been implemented. So I run this command, this code, and then in the code, I included changing directory and use this data file, right? I have two commands in the code file. So this is the recommended way you implement the analysis. This is because, let me, go back to, so this is what I recommend you to do. So many cases, what I heard from the students is that they need to use like multiple computers, like they don't have enough time to finish everything at one place. So they go to library for an hour, then they have to save files and keep the files to be used later. And then what do they have to do? They need these two files. Data file, of course, that's the starting point. You need to have data, and you need to have the record, the code file. That's the commands, the changes you made on the data, right? Given the raw data, you make changes, and the changes are made by your codes, your commands. That is the code file. So remember, keep this in mind. You need these two files, and whenever you have these two files, whenever you are like you can implement the same thing and get the same result at another computer, right? So even if you lose all the results, you don't need to worry as long as you have these two files. But if you want to save the results, that's just additional thing. Like you may additionally save log file, or if you have graphs, then you can save image files based on the graphs, right? But it's less important because you can replicate the same thing. You can reproduce the same results at another computer, so as long as you have data and code. So in that sense, data and code are more important, and that's why I'm asking you to submit your code file here. And then like log file, instead of the log file, you may simply just, as I said, like just drag, copy and paste this part. Then that it's same as your log file. So it doesn't need to be anything special. Then what I recommend you to do is, so when you do the homework watching the video, like do not use this window. You may want to do the same thing as I do in the video, but you don't need to do that here. But I recommend you to do the same thing here, right? So for example, I asked you to change working directory, like by clicking this. That is possible, that is good, but I recommend you to do the same thing here. And if you want to see if there was any typo or any error, then you can simply run it. Save the two file. You know how to save it. Save the two file, and if you try run it, then it will you can get the same result, right? And when I do like so generate small variable, then in the video I would define small variable like this, but don't do that, but do this here. And if you want to see if it works, again, run it. And then there is no error message, and you should be able to find small variable here, right? So that is how you do the write a code file. Okay, let me show you. This is the code file that I made. for homework 2. And here, this actually pretty short. So even though it took an hour on the video to explain everything, but in the end, it's not that much. It's not. There are not many commands you need. And additionally, a very useful tool is annotation tool. So for example, this is the code that I wrote last year, right? So I explain, I'd like to, so that means intentionally I write this down because I know I'm going to use that in the future. And when I come back to this code later, then I may forget what I did here. So I would like to record everything on the code. For example, here I said this command is for changing directory. This is usually for students to understand better and load the data to tell the students that this code is for loading the data. Like also I explain what you have to do. You have to do something like so it's wrong. So you may add some instructions here for yourself or for someone else, or you can put your name there. So this is how you write a code file, and of course, at the end of the code, don't forget to save your data. So after this much changes are made, so I defined many variables. Then the data on your memory must have been changed. Then you want to save them. Even if you don't save them, you can redo that again, but why not? So then save, I recommend you to save the updated data this way. So comma replace is the option that it will overwrite the file on your memory. Okay, so then exactly this is what I did in the video. So I am going to I'm going to post this code file in a PDF format. I don't want you to just copy and paste this code file. So I will maybe I will I'll think about this. So I want to show you this is what I did, what you have to do, but I want you to do this by yourself. So I will upload an image file or something like that. So anyhow, I hope this helps. Maybe I think this was what many students did not know. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Good luck.